Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all well. So in this video we are going to be reviewing Project Power, which is the brand new movie from Netflix that just got released this weekend. And by the way, Netflix are absolutely killing it during lockdown with one brand new release after another, and this one is just absolutely brilliant. It feels like a movie that you would pay to watch in the cinema, but it's free on Netflix, called Project Power, which is absolutely awesome. Now this is a pretty slick movie with a pretty slick concept whereby you are able to be granted with mutant superhero powers by having a pill. The only twist is that it is very temporary, whereby it only lasts for 5 minutes. And also the other twist slash risk is that if you have the pill, it may also destroy you. So whilst it does have a bit of a superhero vibe to it, it is set in a very dark setting. And whilst I love the premise of this movie and really love the superhero moments in this movie as well, in this dark setting of New Orleans, my main frustration is the whole, villains being humans that just want to test on these supernatural beings, because it has just been done so many times across movies and TV shows. The whole, humans are evil because they want to test on supernatural beings type concept has just been done so much that was a real distraction for me and was just really frustrating, because I've just seen this storyline being done on the screen just so many times. But that being said, Project Power, outside of the fact that the villain is very predictable and has been done so many times, is pretty awesome, and I'm going to break down everything about the movie in this video review. So like I said, the movie is a pretty fun movie, albeit in a bit of a dark setting, but it is pretty cool, and you're kind of finding out more about the world and what's kind of going on along with the main character. So that's really cool, because you're kind of world building with the main audience and the characters at the same time, which is really cool. I would have thought there would be a few more twists and turns in this movie. I was predicting kind of a big shift to happen and kind of loads of unpredictable things happening, but there weren't that many twists and turns in this movie. But that being said, let's get on with the storyline. So in terms of the plot, it opens up with a mysterious man offering a group of drug dealers a free batch of loads of pills which they can sell for as much as they want. They can kind of keep all of the profits, and this is a magical pill that grants whoever takes it temporary superpowers for 5 minutes. So that's kind of how the pill gets into distribution across New Orleans, and the drug dealers seemingly have no consequences to this, which is really interesting from their point of view. The movie then introduces us to the three main protagonists in the film, one by one, whose storyline all converge later on. So the first character is Robin, who is a student that's not doing that well in school and does some drug dealing for the power drug alongside her cousin on the street, and kind of is making the money for her sick mother, which is really noble of this character. We then have the character of Frank, who also has a bit of a heart of gold, and he is a police officer that takes the power drug himself to kind of even the level playing field with the villains that are also taking the drug. We then have the third character called Art, who is on a relentless mission to find his daughter and to stop the power drug distribution at its core. Like I said, the three main characters, all of their storylines then kind of converge into one, and they all team up together to help Art find his daughter and to kind of move up the food chain within the power drug kind of distribution, and to kind of stop them once and for all. So as far as the cast and characters go in this movie, they are actually pretty awesome. So Jamie Foxx plays lead character Art, who is a relentless character. He is a man on a mission to stop Project Power and to find his daughter. And like I said, he is relentless in his pursuit. He will stop at nothing to find his daughter and to stop Project Power. A little bit like the Terminator, will just go and just won't stop at anything. Will destroy everyone that kind of comes in his way. So he's a little bit like a superhero without being a superhero, but when he has the pill, he is a superhero, so a brilliant lead character. We then have Joseph Gordron-Levitt playing a police officer again. How many times have we seen this actor playing a police officer? But like I said before, this time he's a very noble police officer, happy to take the power pill to kind of even the level playing field. I would have liked to have seen a few more layers to this character, but that being said, he is pretty well rounded, and just like Art, he also has some really cool fight and chase sequences as well. We then have Dominique Fishback, who brilliantly plays the character of Robin, and she is the kind of, eyes and ears for the audience to kind of enter into this world, and you're learning everything that's kind of going on in this world at the same time as this character is. So she really carries the movie and brings the audience on a journey along with her really, really well. In terms of the villain of this movie, it was really funny as you're kind of progressing up the food chain each time that you kind of meet one villain, then the next villain, then the next villain, as you're kind of moving up the power hierarchy and distribution within this organization. Like I said before, the villains of this movie are a little bit annoying because the second they see someone a little bit different with supernatural powers, they just want to grab them and test on them. And whilst you can understand why they're doing what they're doing, obviously what they're doing is not very humane and not very fair. And more than that, it has just been done so many times by so many different movies and so many different TV shows. So from that point of view, it's a little bit annoying. But like I said, overall, the cast and characters of this movie are pretty awesome. From a visuals point of view, this movie looks pretty incredible. You know, the fight sequences look absolutely awesome. All of the superpower scenes look absolutely brilliant. And what I really like that this movie does new and different is all of the cinematography stuff. So if you look at the camera work in this movie, you'll see that they're trying loads of new things with how scenes are shot, perspectives, and seeing things from one character's point of view and loads of other things happening in the background, which is really, really cool. So, from a cinematography point of view, this movie looked absolutely awesome. If I am being a little bit critical, I would have liked to have seen a bit more from all of the superpowers, as this was a big allure with the film, especially in the promotional material. But that being said, all of the superpowers that you do see look absolutely incredible. So the movie overall, from a visuals point of view, looks both impressive and really does help all of the intensity of all of the scenes in the movie as well. In terms of comparisons, it's really interesting as on the one hand, this premise is very unique and the way in which it's executed is pretty unique as well. But then on the other hand, it is very similar to a lot of other properties. So the whole superpower stuff is very similar to the X-Men mutant powers, except this time it's in a pill format, very short term, and is based on animals. And the other thing that I keep criticizing this movie for is a thing where humans are testing on someone who's got a bit of a supernatural aspect to them, which has just been done so many times already. The previous latest Netflix movie, The Old Guard, had this in there. It's also been done in the Charmed reboot of season 2. It's also been done on The Passengers in season 1 of Manifest, and it's also been done on the mutants in the first season of The Gifted as well. By the way, you can check out my reviews for all of those movies and TV shows in the description box below. So, whilst this movie is really interesting and is really unique from a comparisons point of view, the premise has just been done so many times before in terms of the villains wanting to test on supernatural beings. So in terms of the ending of this movie, you discover that the character right in the beginning that was giving out all of the free power drugs was doing so because he wanted to use the characters and people of New Orleans as his test experiments so that the company can see what impact the pill has on humans, which is just absolutely crazy. For such a dark movie, I was surprised that they had such a happy Hollywood ending for all of the main characters as well. Art reunites with his daughter and they all make it out alive. I thought that Art would have had a bigger final battle. It was an almighty power clash at the end and you finally got to see him having the pill and destroying everyone. I just thought it would have been a bit more of a bigger clash given the fact that everything in this movie to that point was so intense. I thought the ending for this character would have been a bit more intense. But his daughter kind of resurrects him and them two kind of have a happy ending. The Robin character never had a pill throughout the entire film and really demonstrates that power can be inside of a person and that they don't need external powers to make them really powerful. So I thought the character journey and character narrative for the Robin character was really interesting. The Frank character is still a really good cop and wants to continue to protect the city of New Orleans, so he kind of continues his mission of being a really noble police officer. It also does kind of open itself up to a potential sequel as well. I feel like this movie, if it is going to have a bit of a franchise, kind of did a really good job in terms of setting up the whole world. I do hope that when they do eventually get around to creating a sequel, that they do so in a way that it doesn't have anything to do with testing storylines and kind of is a little bit more like the X-Men actually, where there's kind of like a team of good heroes that are kind of using the pill for good reasons, and then a group of evil brotherhood kind of characters that are using the pills and their powers for evil, and then these two sides kind of clashing. I feel like that would be a really interesting sequel to this movie, which was kind of doing a really good job in terms of setting everything up. And I just feel like, you know, whilst the villains of New Orleans may have been dismantled, there definitely will be other groups out there, and I cannot wait to see how this franchise continues in the future. So overall, I actually really enjoyed Project Power. I thought it was a great movie. I'm a massive fan of superhero movies generally, and I felt like this new darker take on the genre is really, really cool. It definitely sustained my attention throughout, and if it does turn into a big franchise, I feel like it was a great introductory movie to set everything up. Whilst I didn't like the human and mutant superhero kind of testing storyline, I did feel like it was really, really cool, and actually the themes in this movie are very applicable to what we're going through today. So I feel like from that point of view, it's very topical as well. And certain scenes did kind of make you feel like you're in a bit of a video game. And if a movie can do that, then it definitely gets a big thumbs up from me. So, you know, for all of the reasons above, I am going to give Project Power a solid 7 out of 10. I'd love to hear what you think, so please let me know in the comment section below. Otherwise, I look forward to seeing you in my next video.